This is going to be a Yamaha R1 rear wheel removal. First thing we're going to do is remove the axle nut from the right side of the bike. This owner has a, what would you call that, a vertical tag holder. It's kind of cool, illegal in most states. So we're going to tap the axle through and pull the spacer out, and then we're just going to slide that axle all the way out and slide the wheel forward just a little bit, pull the chain off, rest it on the swing arm. On the right side, we're going to slide the wheel back and slide the caliper out of the way. We're going to pull our spacer out, and then we're going to remove our sprocket and the rubber cush drive from the inside of the hub. So we have a new Pilot Power 3 on the wheel. It's ready to go back on the bike. I'm going to put the rubber cush drive back into the wheel. The cush drive is what keeps the bike from being clunky when you're going down the road. It kind of dampens the power from the engine to the rear wheel. If you didn't have that, the bike would, like I said, feel very clunky as you're rolling down the road and applying power and letting off power. So let's clean all the dirt and debris off of our dust cover. This will keep the dirt and grime and water from getting inside of our wheel and breaking down our bearings. Now we're going to install our rear wheel. So I cleaned off the axle, and now I'm putting a light coat of grease on the axle. It's somewhat important to grease your axle, especially where the bearings ride. Make your axle last a little bit longer. We will lift up the rear wheel and align it with the rear brake caliper. There is a little bracket inside the swing arm which the brake caliper does ride on. Sometimes it is difficult to line up the rear rotor with the caliper along with the little bracket on the wheel. If you have a helper, get a helper. It's a lot easier. So once we have the right side lined up, then we just slide it forward just a little bit and we put the chain on. The chain side's always easier than the brake caliper. And now we're going to slide our axle through. With everything lined up and through. Just going to take the palm of our hand and send that axle home the rest of the way. Let's go ahead and put this spacer back on. while we have the wheel off and the axle nut loose, now's a very good time to check the tension in the chain. The particular owner of this bike, he's kind of fortunate because I'm pretty much the only person that services his bike, and I take care of the little details for him. So his chain is a little bit loose. I'm only going to put about half a turn on each one of the adjuster screws. We don't want to over tighten the chain. So with our chain adjusted properly, we're going to go ahead and tighten down the rear axle nut. And the bike's pretty much finished, with the exception is you always want to pump the brakes when you're complete. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please watch some of my others.